इव्हनिंग वन अँड ऑल. श्री महंत स्वामी शिक्षण प्रसारक मंडल्स, Shri Kumarswami College Ausa welcomes all the honorable dignitaries and participants for the national webinar on the topic Big Data Analytics for an Education Sector. The college has been organizing a series of national and international webinars. Hundreds of different topics were there related with various fields. The webinar series remained very successful and proved beneficial for the students, teachers, researchers, and those people who seek knowledge and people from different fields. The attempt of webinar has been becoming successful because of the innovative management of the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M.M. Ambedkar sir. At the outset of this national webinar, I heartily welcome him as the chairperson. I am very pleased to welcome today's honorable keynote speaker and resource person, Dr. G. Shobha ma'am, Professor CSE Department, RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru, Karnataka. I also welcome all honorable organizing committee members, including Vice Principal ESD Misal sir, Junior College Supervisor Ravindra Karanje sir, MCVC Supervisor Praveen Udge sir, IQAC Coordinator Dr. Sanjay Kale sir, Dr. Anita Dole ma'am, Dr. Sudhir Garad sir, Ambadas Khillare sir, Dr. Patwari sir and Dr. Wadkar sir. Honorable ma'am is going to enlighten us on all the aspects of the topic Big Data Analytics for an Education Sector. We all are eager to listen a keynote speech, but prior to it, I request Dr. Anita Dole ma'am to introduce today's chief guest and keynote speaker. Please ma'am, welcome.
Thank you, sir. On occasion of Golden Jubilee year of the college, Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa has organized a wonderful grand knowledge sharing webinar series. Respected Principal and Chief Organizer Dr. Ambedkar MM has arranged this series with the ambition of women empowerment and women dignity, and this series is going on very successfully and systematically because of the efficient and motivational personality respected Dr. Ambedkar MM and all the resource persons and punctual participants. I am very thankful to respected principal for giving me this opportunity to introduce a resource person on this virtual platform. Many big thanks to organizing committee members and a special thanks to all the respected participants. Those are joining daily from all over India and abroad also, and they are making this series a very successful series. So I am very happy to introduce today's keynote speaker is Honorable Dr. G. Shobha ma'am, who is Professor CSE Department from RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru. Title of speech is Big Data Analytics for an Education Sector. She motivates younger faculty to enhance their research work and apply to several national international agencies for sponsored research. She encouraged students to work on consultancy and research projects stipend was also given to them, have assisted in the ongoing sponsored research consultancy projects. Under her guidance, software for the attainment the course was developed, which many of the departments in the college are using it. She guided students in developing software package for faculty appraisal, which the department is using right now. They are working on deploying it in the central server so that the package will be utilized by other departments also. She sponsored consultancy projects and research projects of 3 crore. She has filed 4 patents. She is subject matter expert, BOS member for Texila American University. She is doctoral committee member at Vellore Institute of Technology. She is a reviewer for Journal of International Conferences. Under her guidance, 45 students achieved MTech, and she is guiding to 7 PhD students and 8 PhD students are awarded. She reviewed 6 books. She has delivered number of talks as an invited resource person, guest lecture, etc. She got number of awards like Best Paper Award, GHC Scholarship has achieved, HPCC Community Recognition Award, and she is honored by Rashtriya Shikshan Trust for achieving excellence in education. So after this introduction, I would like to request today's keynote speaker, Honorable G. Shobha ma'am. Please start your presentation. Thank you.
Good evening all. I thank Dr. Anita for introducing me. I also thank Honorable Dr. Bedkar, MM, Principal, Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, for giving me an opportunity for this session. And I also thank Mangal Dev and Prafula Madam for connecting me to this virtual session. Thank you all the organizers for organizing such a good event. Now I will start my presentation. I'll be sharing the screen now. Yeah, I think my screen is visible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I'll start my session. The topic of this session is Big Data Analytics for an Education Sector. Before I would go to my agenda, I would like to quote the words of Nelson Mandela. That is, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So given a proper education to the student, so they will build a better world for the society to be in a better condition to stay. So this was the words quoted by Nelson Mandela. As you can see, the theme of RB College of Engineering is also Go Change the World. So we provide the education to the students in such a way that they are going to change the society for better living of a people. So my agenda proceeds like this: big data, education data, analysis method, analytics for education sector, benefits of big data in education sector. So as you can see, there are huge amount of data in a classroom. So whenever we take a class, we have a set of students, the names will be there, they have their own assessment result, they belong to different demographic, there will be a different attendance things taken, parent contact information will be there, grades of the students will be there, they log in if we are using an online platform, and they make use of an internet. So all this data will be there in the classrooms. So this data is nothing but, as you can see the figure, is a raw data. So only when I process this data, it becomes an information. Process the data means what? Like you have name, say for example name is XYZ, he has his own attendance, the what his parents, where he belong to, okay, what internet tracking he has done. So this I am processing it to form a structured data. So I have a raw data, I process this information, I process this data and I call this as a information. From this information, it is possible to extract the knowledge. So since I have a student data, his attendance, his parent and his district belonging, all these things, I can have a knowledge about that particular student, like what he is interested in. So which branch has he opted? And plus you can see in the figure, you also have something called past experience. So past experience in the sense, what student, like from where he has come from, what is his characteristics, from which school he has come from, so which subject he is majoring. So all these are nothing but the past information. So taking this past information and the present information, I convert that into a knowledge. And based upon this knowledge, I make a decision. So you have a data of a student, I process the information, and I have a knowledge of that particular student to make a decision. So what type of decision I can make? I can just make the decision like where can he be placed after his education, like after his graduation, where his placement goes what. So this type of decision making can be considered here. So for this, you make use of big data. Okay, so since I have a huge amount of data here, in order to have a knowledge and in order to make a decision, I make use of a big data. So what is this big data? Big data is nothing but a high volume, that is huge amount of data, then variety of data. Like variety of data in the sense, the different colleges, different schools will collect the data in various format. Maybe the attendance register you would have taken like by hand, or you may have kept a ledger, or you may have made an Excel sheet, or you may be using a Word file or some image. Okay, so there will be different formats of data, and those data will be coming from various sources. Various sources in the sense, if I take one particular institution, it may be from various departments, because a student can opt for different subject matter in different branches. So, or different institution students. So this is nothing but the variety of data. So from this variety of data, I extract the useful data. Useful data in the sense what, like student, what is his majoring, then what was the prerequisite he had taken. All this value I will be extracting, and since the data will be coming in a high speed, like each semester you have a student, then after each semester he will go to the next semester and new admissions will be there. So the velocity of the data will be more. So, and there will be inconsistency in the data also. Sometimes what happens when the students give their information about the district, about their mobile number, about the address, about their specialization in their previous semester or previous year, sometimes they make some mistake, and that we call it as inconsistency and uncertainty of data. So big data is nothing but all this volume, variety, value, velocity and veracity. So this data has to be collected. Why should we collect this education data? The reason for collecting is to have personalized education. Personalized education is nothing but this will be useful for better assessment of learners. As we the teachers would have come across many students who have different way of learning. Some will be an average learner, or some will be a very intelligent person, quick learner, or some will be a slow learner. So for each type of learning, some personalized education should be given. And this type of learning comes from multiple dimensions, maybe a social, cognitive or metacognitive. So cognitive in the sense that the student make use of the past knowledge in order to extract the pattern. So that is nothing but a cognitive. Except, for example, say in a mathematics, some like I want to solve a problem, say a plus b or a plus b minus c divided by d. So how should I solve it? There are various methods. Okay, so should I go step by step? Okay, or should I simplify in one step? So that based upon the previous history, so how he was trained, that is nothing but a cognitive. Then you have metacognitive. So as you can see in the metacognitive, before, so have I done something like this before? Like the problem is there. Have I done this problem? If not, what are the existing strength and strategies I can use? Then how should I achieve the goal? So before applying the metacognitive approach, okay, these are the questions that comes to the student. So during the metacognitive, okay, that is whether I have to make use of a trial and error method, different ways of solving. So what is the reflection? Is the strategy working for me? Can I change anything? So am I meeting the goals? So one particular problem can be solved in n number of ways. So once I have a metacognitive approach, after that, then I will know which method is suitable for me. If I am a slow learner, I have to go step by step. If I am an average learner, I can combine few steps and do. Or if I am very intelligent and a quick learner, I can do it one step. Okay, so this is nothing but metacognitive. So there are different ways in which the teacher should teach the student, and it can be in multiple levels. Either it can be an individual, or it can be in a group, or it can be in a institutional levels. Okay, so this education data, whatever we have collected, will be useful for personalized education and also to promote new scientific discoveries and to advance learning sciences. So I can find new patterns while solving n number of approaches to solve for a particular problem. I can come across with my own problem, own method. I can discover new learning patterns. Okay, so it is necessary for me to collect the education data. So this data, whatever I have collected, so information collected on student and faculty can lead to new insights that can improve the way the school works. For example, as the education now it has been changed and we are following National Education Policy 2020. So what does it tells? It is whatever the foundations are there for a curriculum, it is the responsibility of a teacher to teach. Once the foundation is over, next it is a responsibility of the student to explore. And that we call it as an experiential learning. The student can take the course at a particular institution, or he can opt for other institution where the subject matter expert is good in some particular courses. So it is necessary for us to have a big data, as you can see in the figure. So high speed connectivity of the schools. Schools can be connected together. Like in one of the institution, maybe a professor is good in mathematics, he has a high knowledge, he can disseminate this to the students. In other, history may be good or economics may be good, so they can collaborate each other. So the connectivity will be more because we have collected the data and we have analyzed it. And we also can have data privacy and security. Then even though you have maintained an attendance register with the handwritten characters, we can digitize the records of the student and make the attendance or the marks of everything, our student records digitized. Then we can make use of low-cost devices by making use of big data. We can analyze what will be the devices that we can equip. Then you can have online portals for sharing the course material. Internet access can be provided at home to access the materials to the students, and quality digital content and resources we can have. So this makes improvement in the learning process, and we can have better results, and also the assessment of the education can also be improved. So what is the traditional way? Till now, see, this is an emerging technology, so still we are in a way to use it. But in the other abroad universities, okay, people are already using it. Okay, so the traditional way, that is the way in which we are collecting the data. Okay, it is highly resource intensive and difficult to scale. So what we usually do, we create an Excel, or we created a Word file, or storage will be there, and we just summarize the data and put it. Summarize in the sense what? Like how many distinctions this particular class got. We will not go in depth. Who is the student who have got the distinction? What was his demographic characteristics? Everything matters. Okay, then from which school he has come from. So how was his primary education? So those field settings require a method like quantitative field observation. So we have to observe the student, the way in which he is learning. And we can have the video recording. At the most, we can have video recording also. So all these are the traditional way, and none of them is going to scale, because in order to make use of analytics, in order to know, like student, okay, what will be the career of the student, in which subject he will be interested, or is he interested in the sports or extracurricular activities. In order to know this, it will be difficult, if we are making use of a traditional way of collecting the data. Okay, so what are the data that has to be collected for making use of big data analytics? The learning types. First is, what are the learning types we have? So these are the learning types. One is reading. A person can learn by reading. A person can learn by writing, or visual, spatial representation, or the figures. Then auditory and kinesthetic. That is nothing but hands-on session. Okay, working, like experimenting on his own. So these are the various learning types he has. Okay, so this data also has to be collected in order to, as we saw in the previous figure. So each person, whether he is observing the things, or whether he is grasping the things just by writing or visual, all these things we have to capture. And what are the learning theories? So there are different types of learning theories. Yesterday, I think my colleague has presented it. Just to brief about it, we have problem-based learning. So problem-based learning is, see, as the education system has changed now, the student should be able to identify the problem. For example, if it is a high school student, just like some societal problem, say for example, a blind person, if he wants to cross the road, so how is that the student can help? So what is the technology he can use? Okay, some basic things. So he can come up with some solution for this particular problem. That means he has to identify and he has to provide the solution for it. So like that, as and when he provides the solution in high school, some basic solution he will provide. So when it comes to the plus 12, again some solution, innovative solution will be providing, which will be enhanced from the high school. So when he comes to the engineering, he'll have more idea. Okay, so this is nothing but problem-based learning. The next is anchored instruction. So some people will be interested in problem-based learning, some people with the anchored instruction. Anchored instruction in the sense, you give an assignment, okay, for any subject. The assignment can be given to a small group or an individual, and it should be interdisciplinary. Okay, that is what our national education policy tells. So whatever the assignment we give, it should be interdisciplinary nature. For example, a person studying in arts should also know about computer science. A person studying in sports, okay, should also know about finance, something like that. So different subjects he has to take and he has to explore the things. Then you have something called cognitive apprenticeship. So cognitive apprenticeship is nothing but, you make the student like as a mentor. Okay, as a mentor, first what I should do, I should go through the initial step. So given a problem, I should make my mentee, that is, I should make my student, okay, understand the initial steps of the process and also reveal how to tackle that particular problem. That is nothing but modeling. Then next after that, coaching. So mentor observes, that is, as a faculty, I should observe the way he is doing. Then scaffolding. Scaffolding is just supporting him. My first one is I guide the student and I support him whatever he is doing for. Okay, and also articulate, and the mentee assesses himself. Okay, once he has developed something. Okay, say for example some product he has developed. So he finds out. Okay, this is a product. How it is. Okay, then exploration. So mentee explores the topic behind what was shown by the mentee. Just shown the way, but the mentee has explored so many things and finally he has got a beautiful product or a beautiful innovative technology he has used and he has discovered some knowledge in it. Okay, so this is nothing but cognitive apprenticeship. So these are the ways. So depending upon what to give for the student, in a class we have different types. So we cannot concentrate the problem-based learning for the entire class. So we have to distribute the things. Some may like problem-based, some may like anchored instruction, cognitive apprenticeship. But how to do this? So this can be done by making use of big data analytics. So how this is done? We collect the information of the student from the previous years. Okay. So we will explore the knowledge whatever he has based upon his condition and based upon the skills that he has developed. Okay, whether he is interested in problem based, whether he is interested in anchor based or cognitive apprenticeship, and one more is there. So situated learning. Situated learning is nothing but a combination. So cognition is nothing but I hear, I will understand, I will know. Then you have kinesthetic, I do. Okay, some experiment I do on my own, I understand. Then when I visual, I see, I remember. So situated learning is nothing but deeper learning. So overlapping all these things is nothing but situated learning. So this can be taken by a quick learner. Okay, so these are the methods. I should be able to find out which method to give for which set of students. Then you also have e-learning. So during our pandemic situation, most of us all from 2 years we are making use of e-learning. That is web-based instruction. Okay, learning technology, networking and computing technology, and we have also made use of MOOC, that is massive online open course. So we have to encourage the student to take this. For example, say in his vacation, so after 10th, some vacation will be there. So instead of we can explore what are all the course that is provided by MOOC. So it is as you can see from the figure, it is open registration is there. Okay, local cohorts, it is self-paced. There is no start and end dates, and it can be added. So as per the new education policy, this also has a credit. Okay, so and also once you clear the course, you can slowly clear. There is no urgency, like there is no pressure on the student. So whenever he is free, he can take up the course, and within some time, the deadline which won't be that hectic for the student, he can take. So once he finishes the course, he will be given a digital badge, and that will again enrich his biodata. And it also tells about the role of the instruction, what learning community we are to have. Then they have scripted assessments and feedback. So based upon these things, assessment, feedback, okay, so the student can learn in a better way. So these are the e-learning things. Some student may be interested, and some student may take this e-learning as a passion. So this e-learning, as you can see from the figure, it helps in innovative teaching learning procedures, real-time learning, and improves the productivity in the class. So as we have already noted this, isn't it? So we have given a lecture web-based instruction. We can record it and we can share it. Suppose if the teaching is very good, we can share it with the students, and we can give some formative assessment also to assess the student in time. It also increases the teacher effectiveness. Say in a class we have say 70 students, but when we do a webinar and all, we can have more students. There is no restriction. Okay, where suppose we are using the Cisco WebEx and all, and go to meeting and all, we can have many people, and we can group the people based upon the learning ability. Okay, we can group the people, and we can give the assignments, whether it is problem-based learning or cognitive learning or apprenticeship. So we can give it based upon the requirement of the student. So this this particular method increases the student ability. So these are all the data that can be collected from the school itself. Okay, from the school itself, this data can be collected. That means the school has the child has entered LKG. So LKG, what is this learning? Then finally he comes to the first standard. Then he comes to the middle school, high school. So what subject he has taken, in which extracurricular activities he is interested, what co-curricular activities he is interested. So based upon all this data, after analyzing it, okay, we can always recommend, okay, this will be better for you to take up. So when it comes to the higher semester, like graduation, we can always recommend, okay, these are the subjects that are there, and this subject is available in this university. Otherwise, it will be difficult for a student or for a parent to explore different type of technologies, different types of courses that is provided by the universities. So what are the type of data that can be collected? So as we saw all the learning theories, previous things, all this data will be collected. Apart from this, okay, administrative data. So who are you? Like this address, this name, date of birth, etc. Then content data. So inferred properties of about the material, whether it is a difficult subject, okay, or whether a big subject, about the content of the particular subject. Those also can be taken. Longitudinal data from a long period of time. So what were his grades? What were his testing result? Was he time on task? How is his attendance? If he is online, if he has taken the MOOC, okay, then click patterns.
So how many, like what is the time that is spent for reading a particular page in a book? So based upon the click pattern, we can understand, okay, the time he has taken to click a particular page or a particular topic. Okay, we can analyze, okay, this particular student will be interested in this particular topic. And based upon that topic, we can recommend more advanced topics to that particular person. So without unknowingly, the student will be recommended, okay, you can go through it. So his interest will increase, okay. So how long the student holds a mouse pointer about a particular answer. So suppose if there is an online test, okay, then he is supposed to write the answer online. So how much time he has spent. So we can judge the ability of a student based upon the time he has taken. Okay. Now this data, that is PSLC is nothing but Pittsburgh Science Learning Center. Okay, this is a Pittsburgh Learning Center, wherein it is a data shop where you have like billions of data. Okay, it is a central repository to secure and store research data. As I told you, big data analytics for education sector is an emerging technology. Okay, it is like in India it is not used, but in abroad and all they are using it. So how do they plan? How do they plan the learning? How do they report the tools? Well, okay, what tools they have to use? All this is there. This is an open source PSLC data. Okay, it is a central repository to secure and store research data, and a set of analysis and reporting tools. All these are free way. Okay, so it has greater than 250,000 hours of students using educational software, greater than 30 million student action responses and annotations. So you can find this in this particular link. So what are the actions, what are the responses to the questions, and what are the annotations the students have made. So all this data is available for research. That is nothing but PSLC data. So what is the problem with Indian scenario? Indian scenario, the problem is collecting the data. That itself, in a particular institution to collect the data and to make use of analytics, it becomes very difficult. Okay, because it will be like we have to store it in a centralized way. We have to connect the data with other institution students, okay, in order to get a proper response. So that itself is a problem in the Indian scenario. But now people are going, since we have implemented NEP 2020, it is necessary for us to know the learning interest of a student, and based upon it, provide or recommend the courses or the experiential learning or whatever it is to the set of students. Okay, so how online educational formats, like how with online education things can be delivered. One is video, one is online modules or written documents, audio file, instructions for activity or task. These are all the various formats of the education. And one, if you are going for online education, there is something called Course Smart. So Course Smart is nothing but it embeds, embeds technology directly into digital books. Okay, so what happens is it provides an engagement index score. So this engagement index score is nothing but it measures the students how much the students are interacting with the ebooks. Okay, how much time he is viewing the pages, what he is highlighting, what notes he is taking. So based upon this, the digital textbook also recommends him. Okay, this is the topic that is of interest, and based upon this interest, the specialized topic of his interest will be popped up. So researchers have found that the engagement index score helps the instructors to accurately predict student outcomes. Okay, so by this engagement, okay, the instructor also will predict what is the outcome of the student more than traditional methods. What is the traditional method? We observe the student, how much time he is taking, that's it, but we cannot get accurately. Okay, what is the participation in the class? Suppose if you ask a question in the class, so who will be answering? Okay, only that we will be knowing. But suppose if I make use of a Course Smart, okay, the questions if it is posted, so we can also accurately find out what is the index score of answering the particular question by the student. So by this, we will be in a position to know how well the student is be grasping the things and how well he will be answering the question. is something called Duolingo. So Duolingo is nothing but a site and smartphone app to help the people to learn foreign languages. So this also makes use of big data analytics. So what it is mainly used is, I think it tells how long does it take someone to become proficient in a certain aspect of a language. How much practice is optimal. Okay, how much he has to practice in order to learn some language. There are theories about learning languages, some ideas. Okay, like say for example, one example I have given, adverbs should be such an idea that adjective should be thought before adverbs. Okay, so how this is happening? By analysis, by making use of the analytics. Okay, so these are the two examples wherein this makes use of big data analytics. So what are the different methods of analytics? First one is prediction, structure discovery, and relationship mining. So what is prediction? So prediction is nothing but, so based upon the data whatever I have collected, okay, I can answer this question: which students are off the task? Okay, so whether the students are attentive or non-attentive. What is the reason? So which students will fail in, I can predict, will fail in the class. What is the reason why they have failed? Okay, suppose if the student fails, I can go back, okay, and I can get the data of the student. Okay, without a software or without making a big data analytic tool, it will be difficult manually to open to gauge the particular student. But if I make use of a big data analytic tool, okay, it easily fetches how the student attended the class, okay, what was his interest, whether he was listening to the class or not. So all these things I can get directly from the big data analytic tool. Then we have something called structure discovery. Structure discovery is nothing but it finds the structure and pattern in the data that emerge naturally. Okay, so there is nothing like predictor variable. So the student is interested in such a topics. Okay, that is the pattern that is going to be discovered by the big data analytic tool after analyzing. Okay, after analyzing the student, okay, it will find the structure, okay, automatically without making use of a predictor variable. So relationship mining, it also derives the relationship between the variables in the data set with many variables. Like between the variables in the sense what, like a student, what are the variables he is having? So he is having like high school grading, okay, plus 12 graduation grading. So what is the relation? Okay, so based upon this, I can find out, I can always have a relation. Okay, he has opted this particular course, so he is better fit for an engineering stream or or say for other streams like like mechanical stream or computer science stream, etc. Okay, and this is nothing but a correlation. And what is the cause? Okay, I can go back. What is the cause for this particular person to opt for computer science? What is the cause? That also I can find the relationship mining. Maybe he is interested in coding. Okay, maybe his mathematics is good. Okay, so that is the cause. So from this, what I have analyzed, so taking computer science require mathematics knowledge more. Okay, so so if I want the person to be trained, suppose if he is good in the maths, I can go in that particular direction. The instructor or a school may go in that particular direction and equip the student with that particular knowledge. So these are the analysis method that can happen in big data. And how the data is formed technically. So previously what we saw, so it may be in a video, it may be in a audio. Okay, all this are nothing but the different formats we saw. But technical wise, okay, if we are making use of a big data analytics tool, it can be an SQL dump and student state information or an Excel file. Okay, student information and surveys, JSON files, clickstream data or EDX platform. You can explore because the audience are from different background. You will not be aware of this particular things, but you can explore what is SQL dump and all those things. Okay. Now, what are the analytics you can do for the education sector? You can have teacher analytics, student result improvement, enhanced learning outcomes, reduction in dropouts, career forecasting. These are the things you can have by making use of big data analytics. What are the tools? So as you can see here, You have many tools that is freely available. People can use this tool. Okay, as I had told you that Pittsburgh the data is there, isn't it? So when you collect your data, that is from the school data, you can apply that data on the trained model and you can get the result. Okay, so what teacher analytics will do, it analyzes the student work and data, provides the teacher with the valuable information about the understandings and the skills of the student. Okay, so the high quality instruction may decrease the time, so the instructor will know what type of instruction should be given to the student. So what will happen? Definitely high quality instruction may decrease the time. So what are the analytics tool you have? So what it does, it gives educators and students understanding where and how the improvements can be made in the learning process. Say first test, he has given the test and the faculty has assessed where exactly maybe his reasoning skill is bad or logical skills is bad. Okay, by making use of this tool, the instructor will come to know, okay, this student logical skill is bad. So you can improve the learning skill for the next test. So this is the interesting thing of big data analytics tool. It creates new opportunities to improve the education process by helping teachers and learners make smarter decisions earlier in the learning progression. So we cannot leave the student like that. So in the school, even his reasoning is less, he is not able to cope up with the reasoning. So we have to look into that. Okay, this student is weak in the reasoning. So how to improve? What are the learning methodologies we have to use in order to make his learning improve in improving learning passion? So opportunities for educators to reach out and instruct the students in new ways. Okay, in new ways, some method. Okay, whatever the patterns or whatever the teaching methodologies. Okay, the teachers, instructors have discovered. Okay, in order to see that the student gets insight in wherever he is, like is out of reach of that particular technology. Then big data analytics can also help in the improvement of the result. Okay, with big data in the education sector, it is possible to monitor the student action. Okay, so how long he has taken to answer a question, which source they use for exam preparation, which questions they have skipped off. Okay, these are similar to these questions can be answered automatically and instantly, giving each student instant feedback. Okay, when he writes the answer, okay, automatically the feedback will come. Okay, you have made a mistake in this, you need to improve, you need to read such a book. Okay, so all this the tool will let the student know or let the instructor know, and they recommend the student if he is from a primary school or a middle school. When the students are closely monitored, received instant feedback and are coached based on their personal need. So this helps to reduce the dropout rate. So that the result of the student can also be improved. And this also enhances the learning outcomes. So in a broader way, information derived from each student can be used to analyze the student's academic performance, academic patterns, and involvement in the extracurricular activities like sports or cultural program. Okay, based upon this learning outcomes, it can be used to predict which students are likely to become detached, drop out of the school, or have the potential to excel in extracurricular activities, so that an intervention from the authorities is actioned at the right time. So right time, okay, education to be given to the student with the right learning methodologies. In order to do so, we have to go for big data analytics. So reduction in dropout. So as we have seen the benefits, big data would help improve the student result. Dropout rates at schools and colleges would also reduce. They can make use of predictive analytics on all the data that is collected to give them insights on future student outcomes. So, and one more important benefits of big data analytics is career forecasting. Okay, so based upon his learning ability, based upon the courses he has completed, it is possible for the big analytic tool to forecast his career. This, like based upon the e-learning material, whatever the student has taken, and digging deep into the student performance report, will help the responsible authority to understand the student progress, their strength, their weakness. The report will suggest the areas in which the student is interested and he or she can further pursue a career in the same field. So these are the benefits. As you can see, to summarize, benefits of the big data, it is a personalized education, okay, based upon the group or based upon the learning ability of the student, the education can be given. So analyzing the student participation and also choosing the future career. So everything can be known by making use of the big data analytic tool. Also enhancing the quality of teaching. So big data does not deal with the information given to the student. Rather, it focuses on the information about the student. And this will include the academic strength, weaknesses, learning ability speed, memory activation, skills and retention and recalling abilities. Okay. To conclude, so big data provides valuable information about the education world. So we can see big data as a chance for tailoring education to students. Big data cannot be processed with the traditional application software. So we need to know the tools like Apache Hadoop, Microsoft Edge Insight, NoSQL, Hive, Scoop, Polybase. All these are the open source tools that is available in the cloud-based technology which can handle huge amount of data. So as to conclude my session here, so as we are all following the National Education Policy 2020, it is necessary for us to make use of big data analytics in the education sector as other abroad universities are already using. By this, the session is completed. Any questions? Thank you for your patience listening. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am, for your very informative keynote speech. Now, after this, the topic is open for discussion. So, if there is any query or doubt, participants can ask. Please. Once again, I request participants, if you have any doubt or question, please ask.
How much it is useful for this NAC accreditation process? Like, can we use this data for the NAC accreditation?
NAC accreditation is nothing but the things that is going on in the college. Okay, that is to be assessed. Okay, what are the things? Like you have criteria 1, criteria 2. By criteria 1 is teaching learning process. So you can always show, okay, how the learning ability, okay, how the different types of learning things will be given to the student by making use of big data analytics. You can always showcase that I have made use of this particular tool to explore this. So what learning capabilities can be given to the student. So for my experiential learning, I have given project-based learning to this particular student, or I have given some problem-based learning to this particular set of students. So this you can showcase, and definitely the results will be improved, dropout will be less, definitely it will add an advantage to the NAC accreditation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Madam, when you said that the big data in education field, having as such an important area, big data analysis, why can't it be part of the curriculum of the undergraduate courses and also to the postgraduate courses?
Yeah, it is a part of curriculum, sir. Like we in the engineering, we have big data analytics in the curriculum.
Only it is there in computer science courses, not in other than, because this is useful for
it can be. Yeah, it can be taken by any people like mechanical, civil. See, it can be applied to medical sector. It can be applied to automobile sector. Anything. It is an interdisciplinary in nature.
No, I would say, because I am at my Department of Commerce and Management teacher, but basically it can also be used in any discipline, I suppose. Any discipline, big data. So right from the undergraduation level, it is being, if it is introduced, the students won't find any difficulty to learn the basics at the UG level. Then they can pursue any degree or any diploma in big data analysis, which is very useful. I can understand.
Yes, sir.
But the problem is that we were not, because I did my post graduation right back in 1988. I know learning this new techniques. I feel this basic things being taught, such new innovative techniques being introduced right at the UG level and the PG level, at least some basic points. So though that's useful for the engineering stream, but can also be used for non-engineering side also. What?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, we in our college we usually conduct vocational courses. So in that we have big data analytics course also will be taught. So it can be taken by any students. It can be a diploma or it can be a commerce. Any student it can be.
Yeah.
We
That's
can
much
teach
better.
them.
Yeah.
We can teach them. No issues.
As e-commerce, as e-commerce being taught to engineering and non-engineering people like artificial intelligence, so such courses to be used at all levels, right from the if not intermediate level, at least from the UG level.
Yes.
That would be definitely benefit for the upcoming generation.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Definitely. And that's what our NEP also tells. So if a student studying commerce can opt for big data analytics in some other college.
That becomes something, of course, I'm into education, academic, I should not tell, but the capabilities of the Indians and the capabilities of the Western people are quite different.
Yes.
We are trying to borrow the concept from the Western countries, but there, right from the basic primary education, this type of practice is being here after quite long time, having 75 years of our independence. Now we are introducing this type of practice. I think it will take longer time to, give its fruits. Of course, I'm not pessimistic, but we are a bit delayed in using the type
Definitely,
of.
sir. But this has been opted now in the primary education. So now the students studying in primary education, when they come for engineering or when they come for degree classes, definitely the things we would have changed.
Yeah,
So ours is developing country. Now we have to move forward. At least we have to see what others are doing. Otherwise, if we just leave it off, we will be still in the
No,
developing stage.
we have been developing right for 75 years, unlike Germany and Japan, which have been
Yeah.
destroyed into. That is a big problem of the Indian community,
Yes,
Indian
Indian
people.
community, Indian mindset. that is
we
the
are
big problem.
we are minded. We are good at everything, but we are very poor at show power. We are poor at implementation part. That is a big problem with it. We would have been top in the world because see, Germany destroyed in First World War, Japan destroyed in Second World War. They could recover so fast. Now they are ruling the world, whereas we are simply quite hold of some other things. That is very second nature of India. Because educational, we are good at English, we are good at mathematics. It is told in America, that's what they opt for the Silicon Valley. Majority of the people are Indians.
Yes, sir. Definitely, we'll see at least the
We'll have to
generation.
hope for the best only. We can't say further, but only hope for the best. And we should strive hard for making something good for the future.
Yeah, that should be in the faculty mind because we are training the students and they are the assets of the country. All the assets are in our hands.
Exactly.
So we have to train them well.
By 2025, all the youngsters will be there. More younger population in India will be there. So we need to
Yeah.
do sincere efforts. As a teacher, I am also having the same idea that we have to sincerely learn and teach. I think there is no other alternative.
We should also learn with them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you. You are a wonderful lecture. It was very nice lecture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, madam.
Respected Shobha, ma'am, thank you so much for the wonderful session. And ma'am, I would like to add something in, like as Badidin sir asked something that this data analytics and this subject is for engineering students. So here in my university, this big data analytics and business analytics is a mandatory course for BBA student and for MBA students. So we can introduce these courses after this NEP 2020. So we can introduce in our university level also. We can, like in management students or for a commerce student, we can introduce this subject under graduation as well as in masters also. So for that, we should need some course curriculum or BOS meeting. You can propose this course in your university also. Ma'am?
Yes. This is as I told you, IIITB, like any management. Okay, they have this course already.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in some NITs or IITs in management department, they are also introduced the same subject, the business analysis.
Yes, it is there. Very much there.
We can relate that this is not only for engineering students. Definitely, there should be some linkage technical team and the business team, and they can, if they will work together, definitely they will draw some very good conclusion. Ma'am,
Yes,
I
madam.
ask a question related that, as you said, there are some tools and techniques for the big data analytics. So I want to ask, from where, if any student want to learn these software, so is there any academia platform where they can learn it at free of cost?
Yes, madam, it is there. If you want, I can share the things to you. You can drop me a mail. Definitely, I'll be, it will be my pleasure to help you out.
Yes, yes,
Open
ma'am.
source videos, everything is there.
Definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm sharing my email address with you. Kindly the links.
Can you mail me? I'll share my email address here.
Okay, then you can share your email address and I'll connect you, ma'am.
Yeah, you please mail me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Is there anybody else?
I mailed you, madam. You can please ping me. It will be my pleasure to help you out.
Yes, ma'am. Noted, ma'am. Noted.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
I
saying.
have, is there really need to include analytics in the course curriculum? So it depends upon your interest, your student interest, your faculty interest, and this is a course. Nowadays the trend is big data analytics only. So where the boom is for the employment is there for big data analytics, whether it may be in any sector. As I told you, in a civil sector, structural management, or health, or automobile sector, or telecommunication. Okay, so everywhere this analytics comes into picture, and the big boom, so they get the employment easily. So I think this has to be taken into consideration in the curriculum.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am. Here we have two subjects. One is data analysis, where the students are learning descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Another one is business analytics, where they need to learn some tools and software and programs, like you said, na SQL and Python are.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. See, there are different business intelligence. So if you want to know about these things, I'll be glad to help you out, madam. Please drop me the mail.
Definitely, ma'am. I would like to gain some information regarding this.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Anybody with any question? Thank you, Dr. Badiuddin sir and Anita Yadav ma'am, for your questions and adding information. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your answers and explanations. Now, after such a useful keynote speech and fruitful discussion session, after this I would like to invite Chief Organizer and Chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M.M. Bedkar sir, for concluding speech. Please, sir, welcome.
Thank you, Professor Karad sir, and today's resource person, Dr. G. Shobha ma'am, who is professor at SEC Department, RV College of Engineering, Bangalore, with educational experience and patent holder. It's also my organizing team committee members, including Dr. S.D. Misal sir, Vice Principal, IQC Coordinator Sanjay Kale sir, Dr. Dayanand Patwari sir, Dr. Anil Wadkar sir, Dr. Anita Dhole, daily joining Prashant Ughade sir, Jamuntrao Kadam sir, Badruddin sir, all the resource person of our series and the next in future series also. So topic was discussed and explained so best, because she is using these softwares for her students. As she said that data should be analyzed to know the slow learner, fast learner, and we have to use this information for our progress to reduce the dropout as per the requirement of the NAC. And it's she said that it's for engineering and also for all the colleges. We can use such apps and tools to improve our teaching learning experience and to know the facts and the figures, also to know the dropouts or result decreasing result or increasing result. So it will be utilized and analyzed for all branches also. You have also given the software tools which are freely available to use to all, and definitely the all teachers and professors, those who are here, get information about that, and they will start using these applications in their teaching learning regularly. Also Anita madam is also discussed so nicely with the madam, and also she explained about the inclusion of the curriculum, these softwares and the analysis systems. So in our university such things are not available, but in our science, but this can be used to have a best analysis of our college students collecting data. Thank you madam for giving your best speech here today, and also we request you to join as per availability your time, and give two-page summary of your speech to us so that we can include in our book. And this series is going to record a file in as a world record, because all women resource persons are invited from India and abroad also, and we have filed the filed for the international record of this webinar series. So we are happy with all resource persons and all those who are joining here daily. Because of this only we are continuing this series, because of the resource persons highly devoted, and all the participants those are interactively joined daily. Thank you madam, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all the audience for patience listening.
Just wait
Now
for
I am
formal
here
vote of
for
thanks.
concluding word.
Yes sir, continue.
I thank sincerely Honorable Keynote Speaker Dr. Shobha ma'am, who has delivered a nice speech by sparing her precious time. And so on behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, I sincerely thank you ma'am. I also thank the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series for conducting such a mega series of national and international webinars, which is really benefiting the all audience. So I thank him on behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, Shri Kumarswami College Ausa. I also thank all the participants who are joining this webinar series very regularly and enriching their knowledge and spreading their knowledge. So I thank participants, because you are the soul of the webinar series, and because of you, the webinar series is going on successfully. I also thank Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, who has given very good introduction of today's honorable keynote speaker. And now I request all the participants, remember to fill feedback form so that you can have your certificates. And at the end, with the permission of chief organizer and chairperson, I declare here that today's webinar is over. Thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you madam, thank you.